Hi, all. Hope you've had a blessed day today. Today, I'd like to talk about Jonah, chapter 1, verse 3. But Jonah ran away from the Lord and headed for Tarshish. He went down to Joppa, where he found a ship bound for that port. After paying the fare, he went aboard and sailed for Tarshish to flee from the Lord. Now, Jonah was chosen specifically by God to give a warning to the pagan Gentiles in the city of Nineveh. And he was to preach against their ungodly behavior and warn them to turn away from their false gods and their wicked ways and put their trust in the one true God. Jonah didn't want to do this, though. So what did he do? He ran away. Instead of obeying the word of the Lord, Jonah chose to run away from God's presence. And he got on the boat that was bound for a place far away from Nineveh, actually in the opposite direction. Jonah is the only person in the Old Testament that refused to obey God's word. And he attempted to get away from God. Jonah tried to escape God's calling on his life. Now, whether he pretended not to hear God's word, or he deluded himself into thinking that maybe if I went somewhere else, God will just reassign me to something more suited to me, or maybe he just didn't care and rebelled against God. Whatever the case may be, Jonah disobeyed God. And in doing so, he sinned. Instead of getting up and going where God wanted him to go, to Nineveh, to carry out his word, he decided to run away and dig himself into a deeper and deeper hole. Now, hearing this and also reading it, to us today, it may seem bold, brash, that this man would go against God like that. But yet, when we look at ourselves, we need to consider if there were times in our life if we've acted like Jonah. Did we react the same way? Did we forsake the call that God has made for our life? Did we close our ears? Did we refuse to carry out his will? Or did we pretend that he was giving us some different direction that was more to our liking? Now, with most Christians, it's the last one. Because we don't like to do things that are too hard. We like to do things that are easy. This story of Jonah should give us pause to consider our own position in life. Are we ready and willing to hear and obey God's calling in our life? Or are we like Jonah, trying to manipulate the system so that it fits into our own plans and what we think our own purposes should be? I pray for all of us, including myself, that we are always ready and willing to say, "Thy will, not mine, be done." God bless you all.